Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Daniel stood outside Crimson Lights long after his coffee had gone cold, staring through the window at Tessa laughing with Mariah. The sound didn't reach him through the glass, but he could see it, the easy smile, the relaxed shoulders, the way her eyes lit up when she leaned in to whisper something. It twisted something deep in his chest. He had told himself he wasn't the jealous type anymore. He had told himself that Genoa City had changed him, matured him, made him stronger. But the truth was, the moment he started feeling something real for Tessa, all his old fears came roaring back. Losing her wasn't just a possibility, it felt inevitable. Inside, Tessa brushed a strand of hair from her face as Mariah teased her about a new songwriting collaboration. Daniel caught only fragments when the door opened briefly. Nick said he'd help. And just don't let it blow up in your face. Nick. Daniel's jaw tightened. Nick had been unusually attentive lately, offering Tessa connections, advice, even studio time through Newman Media. On the surface, it looked generous, supportive, friendly, but Daniel knew Nick well enough to sense when something else was simmering underneath. And Nick was definitely hiding something. Daniel stepped inside at last, the bell over the door chimed. Tessa turned, her smile softening when she saw him. Hey, she said gently, you look like you've been outside a while. Just thinking. About. He hesitated about us. Mariah's gaze flicked between them. She stood. I'll give you two a minute. Once they were alone, Daniel exhaled. Tessa, I feel like something's shifting. Her expression grew cautious. Shifting how? You've been spending more time with Nick, taking meetings, keeping things quiet. He stopped himself before the insecurity spilled out too bluntly. I don't want to lose you. Tessa stepped closer. You're not going to lose me. But what if I already am? The vulnerability in his voice surprised even him. She touched his arm. Nick's helping me with a business opportunity, that's all. What kind of opportunity? Oh, she hesitated. And that hesitation confirmed Daniel's worst fear. Across town, Nick stood in his office at Newman Media staring at his phone. The message from Sharon glowed on the screen. We need to talk, it's about her. Her? That one word had set this entire mess in motion. The spoiler Nick was dancing around wasn't just a business secret, it was a person. Someone whose name, if spoken aloud, could detonate everything. A few nights ago, Nick had learned something shocking. A figure from the past, someone tied directly to Daniel's old heartbreak, was back in Genoa City, and not quietly. She had approached Nick first. She claimed she wanted redemption. Nick didn't believe her. But he also knew that if Daniel found out through anyone else, the fallout would be nuclear. So he made a decision. He would handle it himself. Hide the truth, buy time, keep everyone safe. Or so he told himself. Sharon entered without knocking. You can't keep doing this. I'm protecting people. You're playing games. Nick turned sharply. You don't know what she's capable of. And neither do you, but hiding her existence, that's not protection, that's control. Nick ran a hand through his hair. Daniel's finally stable. He's building something real if he finds out she's back. He deserves to hear it from someone he trusts. Nick's eyes hardened. Exactly. Later that evening, Daniel returned home restless. He replayed every conversation, every glance between Tessa and Nick. Something wasn't adding up. It wasn't just business. It felt strategic. His phone buzzed. An unknown number. He almost ignored it, almost. But something compelled him to answer. Hello. A familiar voice slid through the line like a ghost. Hi, Daniel. The air left his lungs. No, that couldn't be. You sound surprised, the voice continued lightly. I'm back. His knees nearly buckled. How? I never really left, she replied, not completely. Daniel hung up. His hands shook violently. The spoiler Nick was hiding had just revealed herself. And she hadn't waited for permissions. Across town, Nick's phone rang seconds later. Daniel's name flashed on the screen. Nick closed his eyes before answering. You knew, Daniel said flatly. Silence. That's why you've been circling Tessa. That's why you've been acting like some self-appointed guardian. It's not what you think. She called me. Nick swore under his breath. She's here in this city and you didn't tell me. I was trying to protect you. From what? The truth. Nick's voice hardened from manipulation. Daniel's mind raced. Does Tessa know? I know. Daniel felt something snap. Then this isn't about protection, it's about control. He ended the call before Nick could respond. Meanwhile, Tessa sat alone at Society, staring at the contract Nick had drafted. It was generous. Too generous, full creative freedom, financial backing, promotion. But there was a clause, one that made her uneasy. Confidentiality. Total discretion. Why would a simple music partnership require secrecy? Her instincts screamed that she was missing something. And Daniel's haunted expression earlier only deepened that feeling. Back at his apartment, Daniel paced. Memories flooded him, betrayal, lies, the way his world had collapsed the last time she played him. He had rebuilt himself piece by piece. Now she was back. And Nick had known. The knock at his door startled him. When he opened it, Nick stood there. This isn't how I wanted you to find out. Daniel laughed bitterly. You didn't want me to find out at all. She approached me first, said she wanted a fresh start. She always wants a fresh start. Nick stepped inside. Listen to me, she's unstable. She's already asking about you, about your relationship. Daniel froze. About Tessa. Nick nodded. A cold dread seeped in. She told me she regrets what she did, Nick continued. But I've seen that look before. It's not regret, it's calculation. Daniel sank into a chair, and your solution was to hide her. My solution was to keep her distracted. By what? By helping Tessa. Nick hesitated. And that hesitation said everything. You used her, Daniel whispered. I gave her an opportunity. You used her as bait. Nick's jaw clenched. If keeping Tessa close means keeping that woman from targeting her, then yes. Daniel stared at him in disbelief. You don't get to decide that. Nick's voice softened slightly. She's dangerous, Daniel, you know that. Yes, I do, and I also know that secrets are what destroyed everything last time. A tense silence hung between them. Then Daniel stood. I'm going to see her. Nick blocked his path. That's exactly what she wants. Maybe, but I'm done playing hide and seek. And with that, Daniel walked out, leaving Nick standing in the wreckage of his well-intentioned scheme. The motel on the edge of town smelled like stale air and unfinished business. Daniel knocked once. The door opened slowly. She looked almost the same, older perhaps, but still wearing that deceptively soft expression. I was wondering how long it would take, she said. Why are you here? To fix what I broke. He laughed sharply. You don't fix things by sneaking around. I didn't sneak, I talked to Nick. You manipulated him. She tilted her head. Did I? Daniel stepped inside despite himself. I've changed, she insisted. I've been in therapy, I've owned my mistakes. And what about Tessa? Her eyes flickered. There it was. Jealousy. You always fall for artists, she said quietly. Creative, emotional, easy to influence. Daniel's temper flared. Don't. She doesn't know you like I do. You don't know me at all. A beat of silence. I never stopped loving you, she whispered. Daniel's resolve wavered for half a second, and he hated himself for it. Back at Newman Media, Tessa confronted Nick. What aren't you telling me? Nick looked exhausted. You don't want to be in the middle of this. I already am. Nick studied her carefully. Daniel's past is resurfacing. A meaning. Someone he trusted, someone who hurt him. Tessa's chest tightened. She's back, isn't she? Nick didn't answer. And that was answer enough. Tessa left immediately. When she arrived at Daniel's apartment and found it empty, panic set in. Her mind jumped to the worst-case scenario. As she drove, she didn't even know where she was going, but something told her to check the old motel district. When she saw Daniel's car outside one of the units, her heart dropped. Inside, voices rose. You think she's better for you? The woman sneered. She'll leave, they always do. Stop projecting, Daniel shot back. The door burst open. Tessa stood there, eyes blazing. Silence crashed over the room. So this is the secret, Tessa said quietly. Daniel moved toward her. I didn't know she was here until tonight. The other woman folded her arms. You're Tessa. And you're the past. Nick arrived moments later, breathless. He took in the scene. This is exactly what I was trying to prevent. By lying, Tessa snapped. Nick met her gaze by containing damage. The woman laughed coldly. You all think you can control me. No, Daniel said firmly, we're done letting you control us. For the first time, her composure cracked. You don't mean that. I do. He turned to Tessa. I was scared of losing you. That fear made me reckless, but I won't let it make me weak. Tessa searched his face. You should have told me, she said softly. I know. She looked at Nick next, and you should have trusted us. Nick exhaled slowly. I thought I was protecting everyone. Protection without honesty isn't protection, Tessa replied. The woman's voice trembled now. So that's it, I just disappear. Daniel's eyes were steady. You need help, real help, not this. For a moment, it seemed like she might lash out. Instead, she stepped back. You'll regret this. Maybe, Daniel said, but not as much as I'd regret going backwards. As he shut the door, outside, the night air felt lighter. Nick looked at Daniel. You handled that better than I expected. I'm not the same person anymore. Tessa slipped her hand into Daniel. Neither am I. Nick nodded slowly. No more games. No more hide and seek, Daniel agreed. As they walked toward their cars, the tension that had gripped Genoa City began to loosen. But trust, once shaken, would take time to rebuild. Nick knew he had crossed a line. Daniel knew he had nearly let fear dictate his choices. And Tessa knew that secrets, even well-meaning ones, could fracture the strongest bonds. Still, they had faced the spoiler together. And this time, the past hadn't won. For now,